Chevrolet! I've got my knee pad. Nice soft foam one. Bought a couple from Amazon. They're rock hard, petrified. LMC truck. I've got someone interested to buy this Blazer that I drove back from Salinas, California, parked outside the Starbucks. The badge is in the glove box, and this fellow said, I don't mind doing body work, but I don't want to fix any rust. I said, it's not rusted. So he says, heard that before. He's coming from Massachusetts, and I'm making this video for him, so I better behave myself. You know where these things rust? In the back of the footwell. That's where you hide the spare key. Oh, wait a minute. What do I see here? Some mud from the landfill. Look at that. I think I should turn the flash on, shouldn't I? Well, this thing doesn't have any rust, unless you call that rust. It's a relatively well-equipped Blazer, not fully loaded, but it's got lots of options. It's got the optional Highway 308 posi, the differential, the drive shaft. This is kind of weird. When I bought this thing, it was shaking like mad. The U-joint wasn't centered in the pinion yoke, so I centered it. U-joints were perfect. Muffler's original. Vibration went away. Catalytic converter's in place. The bracket's not attached properly. I could fix that. It's not rusted. It's got power windows, power door locks, power tailgate, non-functioning air conditioning, a dent in the door, a bit of bodywork repair here. It's got a salvage title. Why would a vehicle have a salvage, rebuilt, or reconstructed title? Well, it means the accident cost more than the vehicle was worth, or maybe 75% of what the vehicle is worth. This thing was hit on the right front, presumably because it has a Taiwan fender, hood, grill, and the bumper is not entirely attached. The kid had an accident. He didn't put all the bolts back. Not a big deal, but it does have the splash shields. It has quad front Gabriel shocks. It's missing the fender trim, and someone cut away the bottom of the right front fender to clear the tire. They could have put a lift kit in, but instead they cut this. But if you put the trim in place, you almost can't see it. The four-wheel drive works. It's got auto-locking hubs. I'll get my knee pad. It's got this weird-looking step. I'll show you how that works in a minute. Probably been on the truck since it was brand new. Rust on the floor. Well, there's some speckles. I don't think they're through. I hope not. The body mount looks like brand new. It's got the strut that triangulates the transfer case to the back of the engine. The four-wheel drive does work. I got stuck at the dump. Front U-joints are in good shape. The tires are brand new. I wish they were 32s or 33s, but all they had in stock was 31s. And I called 6 places in the area. Called all around. Nothing. Tomorrow. I was going to be in Arizona tomorrow. This fender has been hammered back, but not cut. The inner fender, where the reinforcement is, they used to rot there, not rusted. I jacked it up and cranked on all 4 ball joints. They're in good shape. Nothing was loose in the steering. Didn't have much grease in it, but I greased it up. U-joints are good. The motor is a GM crate, probably made in Mexico motor. I checked the oil level for the differential. Transmission level was good. How's the interior? No rust in the rockers. We got a serious shadow here. There we go. Too much sun. Interior's dirty. It might be cleaned up. The seats, no, I don't think that's going to clean up. The material has just burned off of the seats. The back seat's okay, but the front seats will need some really good seat covers, not these cheapies from the dollar store. The dash has the typical cracks. They always crack. Every one of them. LMC sells a cover or a brand new dash pad. All the gauges work. I fixed all the lights. Not one single light worked. I fixed them all. There's no key for the ignition. Don't steal my truck. Doesn't lock. Nice, huh? Radio works. Alpine with a USB input.
A trip, like a little vacation, spring 2019.
I put in a couple of lighter plugs. The back window works. Amazingly, it didn't when I bought it. The safety switch was bad. Needs the contacts fixed. Something else that was interesting, this vent window was missing the bracket, so to get in the truck in the morning, I'd lock the door. I'd unlock it by opening the vent window, reaching around, turning the key on. I'll show you how. It's kind of funny. There's a bit of a story behind it. I'd open this here. There was no handle. I'd reach in, turn on the ignition, pop the power door lock, and those all work. Cruise control does not work because the cable's not connected. Don't ask me why. But the tilt works. The steering column is not loose. Common GM problem. The emergency brake works perfectly. Fixed it. Fixed everything. The accordion gizmo here was off the door. I rebolted it. I put in an upper hinge pin and bushing so the doors close like new. It's had a bit of body work. It's got a few little dents, but no rust in the rockers, none at all, zero, nothing. Original tailpipes, the moldings are a little dry. Back metal plates in place. Tailgate works. No rust at the bottom of the tailgate, nothing, zero. This is a dry California truck. It's just dirty. The roof was off, most of the bolts were not reinstalled. There's a dent in the door. Maybe today I'll take off the door panel, pop out the dent, and get a bit of this Bondo to pop off. I could go over the truck with a finer tooth comb. I've got all the lights working, everything working just fine. Fires right up when you turn the key. The alternator charges, the starter starts. The radiator was full of rust. I cleaned it and flushed it many, many, many times. I think it needs a new ignition switch on top of the steering column. But once in a while you gotta turn the key really far. I tried to adjust it, but I think it needs a new ignition switch. Battery's good. The antifreeze is gonna bubble over. There's no thermostat in it. I've run through many, many jugs of coolant cleaner. I think I'll do it one more time. Because it's still foaming up. It's not a bad head gasket. There's some foam in there, but that's from the cleaner. I'm gonna flush that out today. Put a new alternator belt on it. The air injection reactor pump is still in place. The transmission shifts very softly and smoothly the way GM intended. I would put a shift kit in. So the oil is nice and red. Runs well, shifts well, stops well, got lots of options. Brutal here, I should have put it in a better slot. There's the option list, describing all the options on this truck. The air conditioning will need a new compressor. The compressor is junk, and this line is busted. Somebody must have leaned on it, but when you put a new receiver dryer in, they're less than $50. Comes with that hose. You put it on, you evacuate it, convert it to 134, and you're good to go. Like I mentioned, it's got a Taiwan hood and a grill, and the fender and the bumper is junk. Must have been in an accident after that was repaired, but that's minor. The steering is tight, tires are new. So there's your video, my friend, and if you have any more questions, I'll send you some pictures.